What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel for day 21 of 200, prepping for my very last show. Today I filmed an intro clip and I literally had it on the wrong camera, so it was facing the wall while I talked. I didn't even realize that. All I said was basically I was trying to use the mics, the DJI mics, and now they're not working at all. They're on and connected, but no sound comes through. So I'm gonna have to, that's what I was saying, I was borrowing the mics, and so I'm gonna see if I can basically borrow them, take them home, and then mess with them for a bit, because we had them working, and now I don't know, some setting must be off or something, so I'm going to figure that out. But I was kind of on a time crunch this morning, so I just wanted to basically just keep things rolling. So today, obviously, is gonna be another voiceover. I'm sure some people like that, maybe some people don't. I will figure out the mics, but I feel like without training, it's kind of like, it gets boring if I'm just up here talking. Maybe not, but I'm going to do a voiceover. So today was a chest day. I've actually been going even earlier than 9 a.m. I try to get there around 8:30, 8:15-ish. It just works better with my schedule. I actually get up, get a few things done work-wise. Well, I get up, eat, get a few things done work-wise, eat again, and then I just hit the gym, because I've noticed if I do that, the gym doesn't take as long. It's not as hot in the summer. And also, I'm usually back, like I was back today by like 10:30. I was showered, ready to go for the rest of my day. And that gives me like a really good amount of time before I have my clients in the afternoon, like my in-person people. So it's been great so far, but it is another bit of a learning curve. But like I said, we're doing chest right here. So we'll get that. And as you can see, I was at 365 right here. So before I come into the frame, talk a little bit about it. I did 135, 225, 315, then 365. Now, something that's going to be a little bit different is I don't have someone to spot me this early. So it's really hard for me to get in the proper position with the Smith, because my other partners are able to basically grab the entire bar, hold it for a second while I can adjust my hands to where they should be. Honestly, it looks like I did pretty good with positioning for what I had. But again, it being a little bit earlier, things are going to be different. Strength is going to be different, especially without anyone to spot me. I can only go so far, and you'll see right there, once it started coming back down, I just racked it and crawled out. But see, things like that shouldn't get you guys down, because it's totally normal. You got to think, I've probably had less water. I've not had, I kind of got to the gym earlier. I also don't have a partner that's there to I only wanted to get 8. So I think I failed on 6. If someone would have just tapped that and kept it moving forward, up, I definitely would have gotten 8 with very little help. But it's just kind of an adjustment period, because you also have to think, with one person as opposed to 3 or 4 people, I've got less rest time. So it's harder at lighter weights, if that makes sense for you guys. And it's just another way to make things more intense, is honestly by shortening the rest period. And that's not what I did on purpose. It's just I do a 1.5 minute rest between sets, whereas when you're in a group of 4, it's probably like a 4-minute rest, somewhere in there. And then we went on to the standing press here. I did sets of 10, working up to a max of 10. Again, kind of getting a feel for what it's like to do this workout by myself. Because right here, honestly, my chest was smoked already. And I did miss the seated leverage press, unfortunately. I don't know what I was thinking. I didn't record it. This one was actually a feeler. So you'll notice 1 plate aside, 2 plate aside, 3 plate aside. I did 10, 10. I only did 5 reps with 3 plates just to feel it, but not get gassed. And then I did my 4 plates. I think this was 7 plates total. 4 on one side, 3 on the other. And I just want to get through that. The reason is because, again, this machine is not one you want to get stuck on without a spot, because there's not really a safety. The safety is, for me, even at the highest mark, it's so far back, it would probably rip my shoulders off. So just something I had to keep in mind. Then I removed, so this was 7 plates total. I removed 2 from one side, making it 5 plates total. And then I'm going to go again for 10. This was a drop. So it was 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. It's a 10, 10, and then a drop set of 10. I added in a set of 5 in the middle there just to get a feel for it. So this is my second set of 10 on my drop set. Boom, rack that, take 1 more plate off. I think each side is what we did. Marcus showed up. He just decided to help with that real fast. And then I think I bang out 20 here. just because I just wanted it to hurt. I noticed it was a little bit too light. And again, you can see my left hand here. See how you can see this part of my knuckles? Wrong. You want to see this part of my knuckles. So again, I'm not perfect. I still am working on it, still focusing it. With this being the last press of the day, it does, get tiring to hold the form. So usually my form isn't the best at that time. Now today I opted for the machine instead of the dumbbells because I honestly by myself didn't feel like getting out 95, 85, 75, 65. And this was more of just like a feeler workout. Not that I didn't go hard. I definitely went hard. But feeler in the sense that like, right now with some of the things that I'm like going through a little bit, I just want to train. I just want to have fun and I just want to train and I want to train hard. And you can see right here, I'm getting into it. I just wanted to honestly fuck shit up. That's it. And I wanted to have a good time doing it. So I wanted to do like a bunch of reps. This was 200 pounds. I think I did 30 reps. I lowered it to, I think, 180. Got right back in the saddle. I think I take it from 30 to like, honestly, I want to say like 45 or 44 reps. And then I do 6 more reps. Try to slow them down a little bit. And again, I normally don't throw it like this. If you guys have watched me, like normally I don't throw it like this. This was just like, you're just fighting the demons just like everybody else. I mean, the stuff that I found out just pisses me off, to be honest. Not that, like, that's the thing. Like, people think I'm going to be a psycho or something. Everything is fine. Like, everything is fine. But when I'm in the gym, like, that's where I'm going to work out my anger if I'm upset is in the gym. I mean, that's what I've always used it for, to get through hard times. That's why I use the gym. You know what I mean? Get through hard times, build mental toughness. And it's not like I'm sitting here all day thinking like, oh my gosh, woe is me. I'm not a victim. Like, never going to play the victim. But I'm also not going to lie to you guys and be like, yeah, I went in and there was a rainbow across the dumbbells. Like, that's also not true. So from there, I went and did, I always have my watch now recording to make sure that this is still on. So now I move into triceps here. And I was messing around with a couple different views. But essentially, we're doing 10 full reps, so all the way down. And then you try to do 5 kind of like partial or half reps there at the very end. This was the first movement for triceps after chest was done. And then from here, I'll go to the skull crushers and the seated dips, which I actually did right for once. So you'll see here, the skull crusher. Got to flip the hat because otherwise it'll be weird laying down like that. And then you can see, again, without a spot, I'm trying to go to 45s, trying to go heavy, but, keep it consistent, keep it good, keep the form good. And honestly, these felt really good. I'm trying to stretch down past my head and just throw it back up. Not literally throw it up, but, trying to get a good flow here. I did 12, and then I went to the seated machine, like the dip seated machine. I don't know. That's like literally, look, it says right here, seated dip. I don't know if I would call it that. I guess that is what it is. But I finally, so last week, if you guys watched, I didn't lower the seat. This time I lowered the seat by a lot because I actually wanted to be able to get the full range. And something else I did was I tucked my scapulas back. And so when I push, you'll see my scapulas are back and I push them down. Boom, right there. Right there. That's how you want to do it. You want to get your chest tall, put your scapulas in your back pockets, and press and squeeze down. And by scapulas, guys, I just mean just keep your upper back tight. You can see how my upper back's tight, and I'm raising my chest through that movement. And there you go. Solid chest day. Okay. All right. I got to cook rice, and I got to cook ground beef. And you guys need some knowledge dropped, so we're doing it all at the same time tonight. And I can pace around, so that's kind of cool. If you didn't know, I love incense. They're amazing. If you don't use incense, I don't even really want to be affiliated. Just kidding. Oh, man. But my client today, he was talking about something that, I thought was important enough to share with the class. Essentially, we've been working together maybe... Honestly, I want to say like 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Maybe it's been 5 weeks. I'll have to look. But his thing was like, hey, I'm feeling kind of discouraged. The same talk I told you guys. If you guys watched like 3 videos ago when I was on the whiteboard talking about the valley of despair and like where people quit and all of those things. That's basically where he was, but now he's a little bit different. He's worked with another coach for like a year, didn't see a lot of progress, and that's why now we're like about 4 or 5 weeks in, he's a little concerned. So I just had to explain it to him. And now, again, this is where like, if you don't keep track of what's going on week to week, you'll have no idea whether it's you, right? Now, if it's you, you can't tell what's going on. You're just frustrated. If you're coaching someone, right? Imagine if I didn't keep track and he was like, bro, are we making progress or not? And I was like, I don't know. Does it feel like it? Like I wouldn't really have anything to go off of. So I always have my clients rate their sleep, rate their recovery, rate like several things, right? We don't have to go through all of it. They rate a bunch of categories that are very important. And normally, if they rate it accurately, I can tell exactly what move needs to be made next, which is saves us time. They fill it out. I look at it, I send the adjustments, and we just keep going, right? They keep going toward their goal day after day. And the reason I'm spending so much time explaining this is because without this, you can't answer his question or you can't satisfy his thoughts, right? Because that's all it is. All it is, and let me give you some backstory. So he had a family member pass, horrible. We didn't make changes that week because it's like, you know, there's a death in the family. Like there's other things that are more important. And then he went to honor guard after that, and that was a week. And so these 2 weeks were horrible, right? And there was a week in the middle where we were supposed to kind of be doing running for cardio, and you know, he wasn't. And that's just, again, because his job was so busy. So you have 3 weeks right there where we weren't even close to perfect, and we had 2 weeks where we were okay, right? About 80%. You know, you got to think the first week he did good was our first week together. So you can kind of almost throw that one out. The first week doesn't mean much, to be honest. And then this current week. But the thing is, I'm going to make changes to somebody's diet while they're going through life changes. That's number one. But number two, and in my opinion, more importantly, I was able to pull up his sheet and look at weeks 1 through 5 and just explain to him, hey buddy, here's the thing, man. Had you been on point for 5 weeks and not made progress, then I see what you're saying. But this happened, you know, you lost somebody in the family, remember, and then we didn't make changes because of that. And then you went to honor guard and we didn't make changes because of that. And you just got back. So, you know, really, if you think about it, you know, I think it's like what, the 15th, 16th of June. So for June, we haven't hit it yet. And with dieting, it's all about momentum, guys. It's all about momentum. The more momentum you have with dieting, same with business, the better it is. The less momentum you have, the harder it is. So we just have to get his momentum going. But my point in saying this is like, you've got to be able to calm yourself down or calm your clients down. Otherwise, you're not doing your job or you're not helping yourself. Like if you're going to do it yourself, you've got to do this. This is where people skip steps, and then when they look back a year from now and they're pissed off about how they look, they don't know why. That's why. And to give you guys like a more personal example, this happens to me all the time. When I first became a coach, this happened to me all the time. I would be like building my coaching business and I would be like, oh my gosh, things are going so good. And then I have like 3 people quit. And I would be like, oh my gosh, it's the end of the world. Everybody hates me. I'm not a good trainer. I'm not a good coach. I'm never going to make it. I'm never going to pay my, like, dude. And what I started doing, and you guys can implement this too, because sometimes even this helps, like for just everyday situations, you know, we're not really talking about dieting right now. This is just a blanket how I deal with things when my mind gets out of control, is I'll literally sit down and I'll go, okay, I was just fine 3 days ago. What changed? What circumstances in my actual life changed to make me upset or feel this way? And is it true? That's important. And is it true? So I wrote it down. So like, I'll give you an example that was this past, like literally this past 2 weeks. And I still do it, guys. Everything I teach you guys, I still do. That's why it's so, like, in my opinion, cool, because it's not like I'm teaching you stuff that I don't do, I don't practice, I don't preach, I don't live by. Everything I've given you guys for free, all my systems, all my methods, like, that's who I am. Like, if you were to come live with me, which you pretty much already are, But if you were to actually move in, you would see like, oh, he's just like that. Yes. But it's because I have systems to fall back on. It's not like I'm a robot. Like I sit here and have emotions just like a human, and then I have to just sort them out. Because the thing is, guys, when you're dieting for a physique that you love, like a dream physique, or trying to get your dream body, you've just got to understand that it is so important to keep your emotions in check, because if you make decisions off your emotions, you'll never get the body you want, right? If you have a breakup and you decide to eat ice cream for 3 weeks, that's not going to work. If you have a death in the family and you go off the rails for 8 weeks. Now, I'm not saying don't be human, you're gonna go off the rails in 24 hours. But after a day, life sucks, man. You gotta pick yourself up by your bootstraps, because listen, it just doesn't matter. Literally like 3 days ago, I got some really good momentum. I'm signing people left and right. I'm having great weeks, and I'm still having a great week. This was a fantastic week. And then what happened was, I had one guy reach out and say, hey man, I gotta discontinue. You know, we talked about it, it's fine. We always leave on good terms. I'm never upset for someone quitting. The only thing I'm upset about is that you're not quitting on me, you're quitting on your dreams, your goals. And I don't say that to be arrogant, it's because people couldn't get in shape before me, and then they think that by firing me, they're still gonna get in shape. And it's like, that's not gonna happen. You're literally just kicking the can down the road another year, but I'll still be here. Call me if you need me. Prices might be higher, but call me if you need me. But that's just the reality of it. And so I had someone quit, and I got really upset. Like, not at them, just I started to think, man, you know, maybe everything else is gonna fall apart. Like, am I a bad coach? Am I doing this wrong? None of that's true. Like, guys, I know exactly what I'm doing. Like, and the thing is, one thing that helped me is like, well, let me look at my other clients. Oh, they're all killing it. Well, they're actually putting in work. The person that actually left wasn't putting in work. So it was really irrelevant anyways, but I literally got down and I was like, okay, what am I so upset about? And when I boiled it down, it was like, I lost one client. That was it. And then I was like, okay, well, all right, well, I could see how that would maybe make me upset, but like, let's flip the coin. Now, what are some positive things that's happened in the last 10 days that have made me more money? And I'm like, well, this guy signed up, this girl signed up, this girl signed up, this guy signed up, this guy got an extra training session in with me, this guy started training with me full time. And then I'm like, wait a second. So I got 6 people and I lost 1. So I'm still ahead. It's the same thing, guys. It's the same thing as getting 400 likes on your post on Instagram and getting 20 comments that are like, oh my gosh, like, you're killing it, you're amazing, we love you, keep pumping out content. And then you got that one grumpy dude that's like, hey, go fuck yourself, never post again, you're ugly as shit, look at your cleft chin, look how ugly and fat you are, right? But who do we listen to? We tend to listen to the one person. Meanwhile, click their profile. Doesn't have a profile picture, they don't have a life, they don't have a wife, they don't have a job, they have nothing. And you gotta remember, there's bots out there too. But the point is, when you feed that negative thought, it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and you can't do that. So instead of feeding that negative thought, that negative energy, and letting it get bigger, because I've had it before, guys, like in real estate, and this is how crazy it is. Like, I'll just tell you flat out, in real estate, I had a month where I made 25,000. The next month, I had a really hard month. I think I only sold 1 or 2 houses. I think, and they were bad houses. I think I made $3,600. Literally that month, I thought, I'm a failure, I'm an idiot, I suck at this, I don't belong here. I just made 25 grand the month before. Think about how crazy. That's why, like, this between your head, right here between your ears, is the most important, guys. If you can't get this right, you'll fail at everything. And I'm only saying that because I've been there. Because a lot of you guys are smart, right? Smart people have kind of sometimes an overactive brain. They think too much. I have too many thoughts. I think too much. That's why, like, sitting down and just saying, what's actually making me upset? I had one client leave. What's actually moving me forward? I had this, I had this, I had this, all in the same time period. And that's when you realize, oh, I'm not failing. Same thing I told my client. I said, hey man, it's not that you're failing. You had someone die. You were in the honor guard. You had a week off. You had a busy week at work and you couldn't do cardio. Like, we're just getting started. Also, in 5 weeks, you know, he's not massively overweight. So a big overweight person is gonna be shedding pounds if they're following the diet at all, like at all. But like someone like his size, it's not just gonna come off and you're not just gonna build muscle. And that's the thing, like realistic guys, like this, I wanna tell you guys this because I don't think people know this. Realistically, in a month time frame, right, you should gain anywhere from 2 to 8 pounds of muscle, or you should lose 2 to 8 pounds of fat. Now, you're not really gonna gain 2 to 8 pounds of muscle every single month. Like, honestly, that's really, really tough. It'd probably be more like 1 to 2 pounds of muscle per month. That's just realistic if you're natural. The goal that I always aim for that's safe is a 1/2 pound to 2 pounds, whether up or down. That's what we're looking for as far as change. And again, like, so if you're looking at 4 weeks and then you put that lens on, like, okay, in 4 weeks, I'm only looking to lose 2 to 8 pounds. Well, he's in that window. It just feels slow. That's the thing. Like, and you've got to realize that, like, when you start dieting, don't put a timeline on it. Switch your mindset to, instead of thinking about even what you look like, think about, I want to be healthy. I want to be able to run around with my kids. I want to have less joint pain. I want to be more active, right? Because that's how I think. And I'm not saying that like I think better than you guys. I'm just saying thinking like that helps me, right? Like after bodybuilding, I'm like, okay, at the end of this year, what I really, and you guys are going to see it, and I'm really excited, but what I want to do, some things I want to do is like, I want to learn to tactically shoot a handgun because I don't know how and I should know how. But what's that going to require? I'm going to have to be a little bit more agile, a little bit more fluid, a little bit lighter, right? Because I don't want to be running around like this, huffing and puffing. Like if someone breaks in my house, I want to know that I can handle it. That's number one. Number two, I've always been interested in boxing. I want to box, not even to hit people. I don't want to hit people. I literally just want to box to learn a self-defense skill, also to do some cardio and be in good shape and have fun with something new. I also want to kind of get into running. Not crazy, just here and there. I just want to know I can run. I have good cardiovascular health. I want to be able to swim. I want to be able to bike. And I want to lift weights. Now, take all those qualities, put them together. Now, what do you think that guy looks like? A bad motherfucker. And I'm not focusing on the physique. I'm focusing on the skills. See what I mean? So same thing for you guys. If you focus on being this bigger guy, this stronger guy, or being the more agile guy, or being the lean, shredded dude that is just a man of his word and is just a man all across, right? Then what would that guy look like? He would probably be in shape. He'd probably have abs. He'd probably take care of his body. He'd probably be on some sort of diet. He'd probably hit the gym. He'd probably do cardio. And that's how you get there. But the thinking is now different. Now you're chasing who you want to be as opposed to chasing a number on the scale. Because most times, guys, when you come to coaches like me or coaches in general and you say you want to be a certain weight, that means nothing. Nothing. I can give you many examples. I thought at 230 pounds I was going to look huge. Newsflash, I don't look huge at 230 pounds. But I also thought when I was shredded at 207 pounds, I wasn't gonna look big, and I look huge. So the numbers can be good as far as like, to give you an idea. I'm not saying don't do that, but like don't get so emotionally invested in the numbers, especially girls. Especially girls. I mean, seriously, if you're a girl and you think you have to be under 160 or under 150, listen, I know girls that are 5'2", 160 pounds, and they look amazing. And I bet if you saw them, you would be like, oh my God, I would love that body. But that's the thing, it's irrelevant. And it doesn't even mean that you need to be 160. It means you and your coach or whoever's looking over your stuff with you, you guys need to decide, oh, that's the look we were looking for. That's the look right there. Forget the scale. If the scale says 110 and you love the look, boom, 110. If the scale says 180 and you're a girl and you love the look, boom, 180. Same for guys. If the scale says 185 and you look great, 185. Here's the thing.
A lot of you guys, well, I don't know because I don't know how many of you actually follow bodybuilding, but like Terrence Ruffin, he's an Olympian. He's an amazing, amazing classic physique competitor. Amazing. Like, so good. I met him, and this is not talking shit, it's just putting it in perspective. I met him. He's probably about this tall, and he's probably about that wide. I could probably pick him up and throw him across the parking lot. The point is, if you saw him in Walmart, you'd be like, whatever. If you saw him at the pool, you'd be like, holy shit, that guy is jacked. Meanwhile, he's like 170, 180 pounds. And I'm just guessing. I don't know his actual stage weight, but I'm pretty sure it's sub 200 or around there. Like, it's impressive. And he doesn't have to be this huge, overbearing guy. That's the point. You just need to find a look you like and just chase that. And so I hope that this hopefully was able to help some of you guys if you're mentally struggling right now in your own journey, or if you're not struggling right now, you will, like mentally, you will. And I will too, guys. I'll struggle plenty of times in prep mentally, and I'll talk to you guys about it. We'll walk through it together again and again and again. But I do hope that that was helpful. And that is day 21. I'll see you guys tomorrow.